Hello, I'm Dave Carr from Visionary Software. Today we're going to show you one of our newest features in CRMRules that I know everyone has been asking for quite some time. So on the account, one of the common requests is to have some indication of how many contacts are linked to my account. The goal of this is to create a field that stores the number of contacts that are linked to this account, and our rules engine will populate that value for you. So the first thing I'm going to do is add a new field, just to show you that when you add new fields in your system, that CRMRules can pick those up. So I'm going to call this number of contacts, and just make this an integer field. This is obviously out of the box stuff here, and we'll make it from 0 to 2 million here. I'm going to save and close that. I'm not going to bore you with all the details of publishing this, but we will come back and show you how that is added to CRM. So number of contacts when added to the form, and again I'm going to now go through the standard publish. Alright, for the purposes of speeding up this video, I've published that change to the form. I've now gone into my CRMRules entity setting and opened up the account, and will now hit this button called Create Update Entity Data. That goes off and looks through all of your metadata in the account form, including our new field, and grabs all that information so we can pull that into our CRMRules system so we can generate rules based on those new fields. The CRM deployment history entity captures the details behind all deployments. So as you can see, after I hit that button, it then went off and made sure the entity, forms, tabs and sections, fields, option sets, lookups, and conditions are all created. So we can now go and build our rule. We now have that number of contacts field on the account and now can do something with it. What we're going to do is build a new rule using our count children rule type. I'm going to give the rule a name called count number of contacts linked to each account. The entity I'm going to put this on is the account entity, because that's going to be where we're going to store the count. So I'm going to say count contacts. We'll save this rule now. Once you save the rule, the rule count sum details section opens up, and you'll be able to enter in the conditions, the fields you want to count, basically. So this rule count sum details section now needs to just be clicked on so we can add a new one. Alright, so to fill out a counting rule, you simply need to specify the parent field you're going to store that in, and we allow you to store it in any of the integer or text fields you have on your form. We're going to call this, we're going to go find our number of contacts field we just created. And see, that wouldn't have been there had I not run that setup process before. This yes, no button here says run the rule when deployed to update all parents. So not only do we create the rule for you, if you check this box, make this yes, we're going to actually run that job against every account and contact in your system so that you have that data in that number of contacts field when you're done. The child entity, of course, is contacts. The child lookup field name field is what field on the form are we going to evaluate to see how many have the same value. So I want to look at the parent customer field on the contact form. So everywhere where that's the same value, we're going to tick that up one more. Finally, I'm going to give this rule a name, count contacts into number of contacts field on account. Save and close that. And now we have that one count action here in our rule. So this implies for on the account, if you want to count how many opportunities or number of cases or anything else, you could do the same thing by adding more of these rules into the system. And to get this to work, we do our usual publish process between validating, marking, and deploying. And this is a different rule type for us. Rather than creating JScript and putting that on the form, we're actually leveraging a plugin. So we have a plugin we've coded that looks through the rule count sum table to find out what it should count and how it should work. So it's dynamic, and yet it's a plugin. And the reason why it's a plugin as well is because you want that to run after all of your pre-saved plugins that have done validation run, so that you're sure you're updating the data correctly. Not as important on count as it is on sum, but so now we've deployed that rule, and that we check that box so that it's going to run the rule when it's deployed. So we can now just check our view. I'm going to add that field to an account view, so we can check and see this rule worked. All right, I have the result of our work here. I've had to a little bit hide the company names here because this is my actual customer database, but you can see I've got VARs and ISVs and prospects, and a couple of them have 2 clients, some only have 1. And one of them, this client here, my CRMRules account, doesn't have any. The number of contacts appears blank when there's 0. So to show you how this works, I'm going to go over to this contacts form here now, and I'm going to add a new contact. And I'll just add a simple test one. Save and close. Now when you save and close, that's going to run the plugin that we just built on the contacts form. That's now going to update the account form with the number of contacts on this form, on this account. So I'm going to go back to the main tab here and refresh the screen. As I refresh the screen, you can see this now shows number of accounts, number of contacts equals 1, which of course is our Mr. Simple Test guy. So as you can tell, that's a great, one of the beautiful things about this is you can actually do an advanced find view now to show me all of the accounts that have that don't have anything in the number of contacts field. So you show all accounts with no contacts. You can't do that in out-of-the-box CRM today, because you cannot do a query, a not-in query in advanced find. So now I can create a little advanced find view here that shows me all the number of contacts that don't contain data. And I took away the company names, but you can see number of contacts, nothing. So I've got 29 of them. Go in there and modify the record and go and create a follow-up process to go call up, make sure you have a contact for all these accounts. Improve your data quality. So this count children rule works across any 2 entities that are linked by a relationship, your custom entities as well. So anytime you have a lookup, you can basically count how many children have the same value in that lookup field and store that number on that parent. If you have any questions, please send email to help@crm-rules.com or go to our website at www.crm-rules.com. And we have other videos on YouTube that you're welcome to look at as well. And if you have any questions, please send them to sales@crm-rules.com. Thanks for your time. Hope you have a good day.